What is it that's impressed you the most, not only about what you saw from Memphis early in the season, from what you saw this past week against Florida State?
Well, I think Coach Silverfield's done a great job. That program done a great job with their roster. A lot of new faces. You can bring in a lot of new faces, but the challenge is getting those faces to buy into your culture and the way that you do things. And I think they've done a tremendous job of doing that. They're really talented, really athletic. I think the defensive side of the football, they've really upgraded their roster, and just really impressed with how hard they play, how physical they are. When you combine those things with their talent, their athletic ability, it's pretty scary. But they're a better football team than they were a year ago. There's no doubt about that. A lot of familiar faces offensively, but a lot of new faces, especially on the defensive side of football, and that's where I think they've really upgraded their football team is the way they're playing defensively.
What makes Chandler Martin such a good linebacker?
Well, I think he's got great instincts, plays extremely hard, physical football player. He's playing better than he did a year ago, and he's gotten better, and I think he's very well coached. But he's all over the place, and I think you look at everybody on defense. They play extremely hard. They fly to the football, and they're athletic. And that's a scary combination.
You've game planned against a lot of good quarterbacks over the past years in the American Athletic Conference. What makes that so unique?
Well, I think he's really talented. Obviously, he's a really, really smart quarterback. He sees the field really well. He puts the ball in the right places. He's got a good supporting cast, but he's familiar with that offensive system now. He's been in it for a little while, and he's just he's good at everything that he does, and he's athletic enough to beat you with his feet when he needs to. I don't think they love running him when they don't have to, but they third and short, he'll keep the ball down the red zone. He'll keep it, but his ability to manage the game. And sometimes you say about a quarterback, that means he's not talented, but that's not the case with him. And he can make all the throws. He's a really good fit in that offensive system. I've just been real impressed with just his ability to run the offense efficiently and make really good decisions and go to the right places with the football.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Scott.
For those who have not read my notes yet, Hennigan is the only FBS quarterback to have started 4 years at the same school. Tells you a little bit about him and the state of college athletics. Bill Wagner.
And so you would assume that after seeing him for 3 straight years, you got him all figured out and you can take everything away from him now, right, Coach?
Yeah, you would hope. I tell you, he's gotten the best of us, every year that he's been there. Going back to his freshman year, he's just a really, really good player, and I got a ton of respect for him. Got a chance to visit with him a little bit, at the coaches' conference, media days, and just an impressive young man.
Well, I was going to ask about, your defense has been so solid since 2019 and have shut down a lot of high-powered offenses, but Memphis is the one offense that's given you trouble. Is anything you can pinpoint other than they have good players, but you've shut down other offenses that have good players and good quarterbacks. Anything in particular about what Memphis does that gives Navy trouble?
I think we've defended them well at times, Wags. I think the differences have been they've hit a bunch of explosive plays on us. We've been able to control certain things at certain times, and they hit a big play. And that's what we're going to have to do. Saturday that's going to be the key to the game for us is just making sure that they're going to get some yards. They're going to make some plays. They've got good football players. We got to tackle great, and we can't give up the big X plays, and that's what's going to be the difference for us on defense.
So, it was interesting because we talked to you a little bit about this, and then Coach Cronick, and he said he hopes that scoring on one-play drives is a problem you all have to deal with all season, but yet that's really not the formula. You actually did not win the time of possession battle against Temple, and it's in that instance, that stat didn't mean anything. But I think against Memphis, time of possession probably might mean something, would it not?
Yeah, absolutely. They're an offense that you want to keep off the field, you know, as much as you can. And you look at them defensively, they're a stingy, greedy defense. And, you know, when we do have opportunities to hit some big X plays, hopefully we have those opportunities on Saturday, and we've got to hit them. And we've got to be able to, you know, like I've said in the previous weeks, we've got to be able to grind it out a little bit too, you know, and to have a 12, 14 play drive against Memphis and keep that offense sitting on the sideline. Hopefully that will help us defensively tremendously. But you're right. That's the formula, especially when you play really good people and a really good offense like Memphis has.
So the fact Navy has not beaten Memphis since 2018, and even in that year of 2019 when Navy was 11-2, that was one of two losses with Notre Dame being the other. Is this kind of a monkey Navy has to get off its back? I mean, you want to be an American Athletic Conference championship contender, and this is kind of right now at this point, this is the team that's atop the pile.
Yeah, it's you know, I got here in 19. Certainly haven't beaten them since then. It's a good game in 19, and the next year it was probably the best we defended them. I think it was the COVID year in 20 where we gave up 10 points, but that was a game we didn't give up a lot of explosives. But two very different football teams now. You can't really compare those games in the past. But yeah, certainly to do the things we want to do and to accomplish our goals, and you got to go through a team like Memphis, and it's going to be a great challenge. It's also a tremendous opportunity, you know, for our program, and we're just really excited about the opportunity, and we fully understand what a great challenge it is at the same time.
With Navy off to a 2-0 start and things looking good, I would imagine the stadium will be pretty electric. The fans are smart enough to know this is the preseason favorite in the American Athletic Conference. Did you feel like do you expect a home field advantage?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, our fans have been great. Hopefully they'll turn out in full force on Saturday. I know that'll help our players a ton, and I know how much they appreciate the sport. And when that stadium is packed, it certainly is a home field advantage for us. So hopefully we get everybody out for the game.
All right, I'm good for now.
Interesting enough, Memphis is the only team that Navy has played every year since joining the conference, and they are on the schedule again next year. Pete Medhurst.
I was going to bring that same point up in this question, Brian. You've played Hennigan multiple times now, and even though skill guys may change, what makes him so good at the quarterback position?
I think, Pete, things I mentioned earlier, he's just a really, really smart kid. He's been in that system. You know, Tim Cranston does a great job, and his third year with him. So he knows the offense like the back of his hand. He could probably call the plays, I would guess, but just really, really smart, makes great decisions, protects the football. He's got a really good supporting cast. He just knows the offense really well, and he's got all the intangibles and all the physical tools to be a great quarterback. He's just he's played so many snaps for them. You know, his comfort level and what they're doing, and his ability to read defenses. And he's just he's a savvy vet.
With that experience on the other side, I mean, obviously you want to rattle him as best you can, but do you have to almost be a little more careful because he's been in all of these games? He's taken all those snaps. There's not much he hasn't seen. And obviously he makes the right decision. You mentioned the explosive plays, and that's what this offense has been able to get at times because of him, not just against you guys, but against everybody.
Yeah, that's the challenge is trying to, you know, part of what we do defensively is we're trying to make the quarterback feel unsettled, try to confuse him and the offensive line. And so we have to be able to do that. We have to be able to get pressure on him, but we have to be smart, Pete, about the way that we do it. When we do take chances, we got to be smart about it. And that's the challenge is being able to put pressure on the quarterback and not give up explosive plays when you're trying to do that. You know, so that's the challenge that Coach Volker's been tasked with this week, and I feel like we've got a good plan right now, and we've got another week left to practice, and hopefully we'll polish that thing up and be ready to go.
I mean, you guys did have over 400 yards total offense last year. How do you replicate that this time around?
Yeah, obviously it's a different defense they have. It's a different offense that we have, and I can't say enough good things about their defense. Watching them on film, it may be the best defense that we've seen. Go back to Cincinnati's had some really good defense in the previous years, but it's as good of a defense that I've seen in conference play probably since I've been here in 19. So it's going to be a real challenge, that's for sure. Like I said, we're going to have to hit some explosives when we have the opportunity, and we have to be able to grind them out and execute at a high level on a consistent basis on Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, what was the message last week during the bye week, and how did the team respond to what you guys wanted to get done last week?
Well, the message was, we want to get a head start on the game plan with Memphis, and we've got to go get back to some of the basics and get better at the fundamentals, get better at the things that we do, our base things that we do on both sides of the football, and getting players to attack a bye week. It's not always an easy task, but we got the right kind of leadership here and the right kind of players, and I think we did that. It was a really solid, productive week of practice, and I thought we got better last week, in our bye, and so excited about the way they approached it, and I know our players are fired up about this opportunity. I know they'll come out ready to go today.
How excited are you to see Cody in the lineup as another tool for your quarterbacks and this offense?
Yeah, it's great to get him back. Cody's a good player. I think the other two tight ends have done a great job, filling in, and those two guys will probably still play. But it's great to get Cody back, and some of the things that he provides from an athletic standpoint, from being a receiving threat at the tight end position, are really important to us. So good to get him back. Year
in, year out, is this Memphis lineup, as you've seen each and every year you've been at Navy, the best athletes, college football players from an athletic standpoint that you've seen?
Yeah, in our conference, there's no question. They're usually right there at the top from a talent perspective. And I'd say they're definitely there again this year. There's no doubt about it. Like I said earlier, Coach Sofield's an excellent football coach. He's done a great job with the roster there, and not only bringing in really good players, but the right kind of players that fit who they are, and then you can tell that they bought into the culture of that program, but just by the way they play and the things that are important to him. From an effort standpoint, from a discipline standpoint, those players are bought in. Really, really impressed to see how well they play together and the way that they play with as many new faces as there are.
Thanks.
Wags.
With reshuffling the offensive line, do you feel like you know which direction you're going to go? And I know Trey did not start the opener in the starting line. That game in the Bucknell game, I believe, was Bouton at tackle and Nichols at guard. Is that kind of where you think you might go with this?
Yeah, we're still working through that. And, there's a good chance we're going to play 6 or 7 of those guys up front, and still trying to work out, the best, get the best guys on the field, give us the best opportunity to win, and still kind of working through that.
The line has been a real positive so far. You feel, regardless of losing Trey, that you're in a good place there?
I do. It definitely hurts losing Trey, and I said going into the season that we were working on establishing some depth on the O-line, so it doesn't help in that regard. But I've been pleased with the O-line. I'm really pleased with their effort and the progress that they've made, and hopefully they'll continue to make those strides. But yeah, that's an area that it was a concern for me going into the season, but definitely feel better about that right now.
I was going to ask you about Riley Reithman. I mean, he is a weapon in a lot of ways. He set the tone against Temple with pinning them back deep in their own territory on 2 straight punts. Second one led ultimately to that safety. And I would imagine a field position battle could be critical here again this week. But what can you say about Riley and what he can do? And I think the one area, he's always had a strong leg, but he seems to be getting very much improved at situational putting. In particular, that second punt against Temple, he was a short field, and he made sure that he launched it really, really high, and it wasn't a touchback. He just seems to be getting more situational awareness in terms of how to get it down inside the 20 or 10, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I think he's been really good at that really the last 2 years, Wags. He's got a big leg, but he does have touch on the ball. He can place it really well. I don't think he's played his best football in the first 2 games, so hopefully his best football is ahead of him. But yeah, he's going to have to be really good for us on Saturday, because obviously the field position is going to be absolutely critical.
And after the first kickoff of the season went out of bounds, I believe you made a change, and I believe your young freshman's been pretty good on the kickoffs ever since then. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, we made the change. Go ahead,
I was just going to say Gossett is the kickoff guy. The freshman started kickoff.
Yeah.
He's the one that kicked it out of bounds.
Yeah.
You got it backwards.
Yeah, Gossett came in that game and kicked 2 in the end zone and did a nice job. And we're going to stick with Gossett. He's been really good since we made the change, in the first game.
Last for me, we talked so much about Memphis offense. You did kind of touch on it with Scott's earlier question, but wow, were they disruptive against Florida State? I mean, that wasn't a case of Florida State's offense imploding. That was Memphis wreaking havoc and getting in the backfield and causing some trouble. That's got to be a concern when you see what you saw against Florida State from that defense.
Yeah, like I said, they're really talented defensively, really athletic, play really hard. I think Coach Hankins has done an awesome job with that unit. Really aggressive, really disruptive. I think, Coach Nowinski coming on board, I think, he's at Ohio the last couple of years, did a phenomenal job there. And having him in the room, I think that they've done an exceptional job on defense. And I think they're a lot like us in regards to their approach. Solve a lot of problems with aggression and pressure. But yeah, they've done a great job. And I think, I don't know how many TFLs they've had in the first few games, but it's a lot. And, they've been wreaking havoc on offenses for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wags.
Couple notes from the Memphis roster. Cam Nichols' brother is a offensive tackle for Memphis, does play, and former Navy great Shun White, his nephew, is a linebacker for Memphis. Son, of course, is from the Memphis area. Pete Medhurst.
Coach, can you talk about the ability to have the bye week where you can take your time and prepare, gradually for this game, but also having the ability to rest and recover and get back into some fundamental stuff? Just how valuable are these bye weeks, especially the way they're placed for you this year? You play a couple of games, you get a bye, play 3 now, you're going to get a bye, and a chance to continuously clean stuff up and keep guys focused on the fundamental things and the details that hopefully provide the results you're looking for.
Yeah. You go back to last year, our buys were really funky, when we had them, and they just make so much more sense when we have them. This year, they're spaced out evenly, and this one comes at a really good time. You like to have one early in the season to do the things I mentioned earlier, just to get back and work on the fundamentals and things that, you haven't maybe done a great job over the first couple of games, and clean some things up and really get a week to kind of recover and rest and get some guys back, get their legs back a little bit, and get a head start on the game plan. It's just especially beneficial, when you're playing an opponent like Memphis to have those extra 4 practices that we got in. So it's been good. Like I said, the bye week was great. I thought the approach by our players was outstanding, and I know they're chomping at the bit for this opportunity.
These 2 programs have won a lot of games in this league, especially early. These are titanic matchups between these 2 programs. To have your team have this opportunity right now, you've gotten off to a good start. You have the league favorite coming into your building. Just what does this opportunity mean? I know it's 1 game, but is it 1 game? I mean, this is kind of what you aspire to be with your program, right?
Yeah. Well, they're all important, and they're all 1 game. That's the way we like to approach it. But you'd be lying if you said this wasn't a really big one, for us and for our program. And it's, these are the kind of games that you want to play in. they're meaningful, they're significant. You're playing the team that was favored to win the conference at home. You're off to a good start. Like to have an opportunity to play a game like this is big. It's big for our program, and like I said, Pete, they're all big. But this is really big one. There's no doubt about that, and it's a great challenge, and with those great challenges come great opportunities, and that's the way we're looking at it.